Yeah, I know. Don't judge me. This isn't becoming a FNAF channel or anything, there's just a lot going on right now. And while I'm right in the middle of working on finishing my playthrough of the recent Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Ruin DLC, those scamps over at Blumhouse decided to drop a new trailer for the upcoming Five Nights at Freddy's movie. And even though I have a ton of FNAF stuff already in the works and it's running the risk of getting oversaturated, I just thought, screw it, why not? The movie's dropping next month anyway, so to get ourselves primed and ready, let's get a quick crash course of how we got here and take a look at the new trailers. And I should say, I don't really talk about movies much, but I do talk about TV a lot, and I know I said in a recent video that I was going to be taking a break from that to kind of show my solidarity with the WGA and SAG-AFTRA writer and actor strikes going on right now in Hollywood, and I'm still doing that, but as far as I can tell between people I've spoken to and things I've seen online, it doesn't seem like it's actually that much of an overstep to talk about this movie specifically. The movie hasn't been delayed like a lot of other projects going on right now, and as far as I can tell, a lot of strike-conscious content creators are still fine to talk about it. So I am going to be talking about the FNAF movie today, but do not forget, the Writers Guild of America and the Screen Actors Guild of America are still on strike fighting for fair wages from these greedy corporate entities who just don't even think they should exist. And of course, I'm not getting paid a single cent to promote this movie at all. In fact, you don't have to see it. Maybe you shouldn't see it. I don't know. Writers and actors deserve to be paid fairly for their work and don't deserve to have their job security put on the line just because executives think they can replace them with AI. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna talk about the FNAF movie, but still, screw those guys, support the strikers, please. So first, for the uninitiated, there's gonna be a FNAF movie. Did you know? Yeah, the classic Chuck E. Cheese-inspired animatronic horror game series that's nearly an actual decade old is about to hit the big screen, or the small screen if you watch it at home, or whatever size TV you have. I don't know you. And this has been in the works for a long time, like as far back as 2015. It was originally being made by Warner Brothers, but they dropped out after a couple of years of getting absolutely nowhere with the project. The movie was then picked up by horror film production company Blumhouse, who also couldn't figure out what to do with it. And I mean, come on. I don't see what the big problem was. How hard can it be to take a video game series where most of the story is fan theories and turn it into an hour-and-a-half long feature film? Come on. Like I said, pay your writers. So yeah, the FNAF movie wasn't really going anywhere. Apparently Chris Columbus was set to work on it at one point. You know, the person who made the first two Harry Potter movies, Home Alone and Pixels, was gonna do this. Okay, I'm sure he would have done a great job, but forgive me if I would have had doubts. But eventually he dropped out too, and another drought of FNAF movie news settled in until around 2020, when FNAF creator Scott Cawthon made a big old Reddit post talking about the project and all the different screenplay drafts they'd gone through. Everything from adaptations of the novels to something just called Plushies Take Manhattan, all culminating with the reveal that they had finally picked a screenplay they liked and would start filming in spring of 2021. And that screenplay was called the Mike screenplay. As in Mike, the character you play as in Five Nights at Freddy's. It took 5 years and all these screenplays for them to decide that the Five Nights at Freddy's movie should be about the guy you play as in Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh boy. Anyway, this was good news for the FNAF movie, and earlier this year, we finally got to see things start to materialize. Cast announcements, teaser images of the main animatronics created by Jim Henson's Creature Shop of all things, and finally, a teaser trailer. Now, I looked at this first teaser in a different video a few months back, so I won't delve too deep into it here. We are here for the newer trailers and information after all, but to put it bluntly, up until then, I was never really convinced that a FNAF movie was a good idea. This convinced me otherwise. Just seeing how they nailed the actual look of FNAF, that alone sold me pretty much instantly. We got to see Mike Schmidt being played by Josh Hutcherson. Get an easier name. We got to see Mike Schmidt being played by Josh Hutcherson, and we got one little peek at our purple guy, William Afton, being played by Matthew Lillard. But the real star of the show here was this perfectly realized Freddy Fazbear's Pizza set, complete with like checkerboard stripes, 80s arcade machines, and lore-accurate soda cups. And of course, the Fredbear crew themselves, Foxy, Chica, Bonnie, and Freddy Fazbear. Aside from a weird and kinda out-of-nowhere choice to make their eyes glow red because evil, these guys were dead on. I did still have a few concerns though. For one, we we obviously don't know what kind of choices or liberties they might be taking with the story. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this movie's supposed to be based on the first game, so we already know we're gonna be tackling the whole missing children's incident from around 1985, which is basically the only real story note we get from FNAF 1. And back then, we didn't even have a William Afton. All those lore characters we talk about non-stop today didn't become officially canonized in the games until around, like, what, Sister Location? Up to that point, I'm pretty sure they were just in the books. So how the movie plans to recontextualize the first game's setup with the current franchise's lore, that's gonna be interesting. Much less important overall, but much more pressing to me, is going back to the animatronics. Yes, they look amazing, accurate, very marketable, but maybe a little too good? I've said this before, but for decades-old abandoned animatronics, these guys look really clean and well-maintained. Like I said, they're made by Jim Henson's Creature Shop, and I think they're actually made with like the same material as Muppets, and you can kind of tell. They're very bright, they're very clean, they don't look dingy. And that's kind of a nitpick, I guess. But one of the big things for me was we didn't really see them move, which, you know, might not sound all that important, but if these guys don't move right, they're not really gonna be all that intimidating. Like, imagine if they just moved like dudes in mascot suits or something instead of big, heavy, rusty animatronics. It just wouldn't be as scary. Ultimately, it was a really cool teaser, got me kind of hyped for the movie, and luckily since then, we've had 2 more trailers come out that give us a lot more to dig into. So let's take a look. The first full-length trailer was dropped back in June and starts out by showing our main character, Mike Schmidt, in his house, hanging with his little sister Abby, and sitting on the phone asking about a job opening. The guy on the other line, William Afton. Ooh. Except, that's not what his name tag says. That little nameplate on his desk? Yeah, that says Steve Raglan Career Counselor. Not sure what that's about, but I guess if you were a serial child murderer who managed to escape prosecution in the 80s, you'd probably also change your name. Creep. Mike, of course, takes the job as the night security guard at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and we get to see some more shots of the place. According to William, or Steve, the place was huge in the 80s, got shut down, but the owner just isn't ready to, quote, let go of it yet. Not sure who the owner is, but I think I could maybe take a guess. So Mike shows up to the place with Abby? What? Dude really got a job as a nighttime security guard at a rundown pizza place? And he brought the kid with him? I don't care if you can't find a babysitter for the night. Leave her with the neighbors or something. This is not a good idea. Well, I guess it just wouldn't be a horror movie without the main characters making frustratingly stupid decisions. Anyway, the pizzeria still looks great. We see some more decorations, a bunch of kids' drawings on the wall, the vent, and the rat in the vent rat, and finally, we see Mike settle into his security office, which is decorated to look just like the first game. This is gonna be super nerdy, but I like the touch that all the security monitors are a bunch of old Magnavox CRT TVs. This company's still around today, but back in the early 70s, they released the first ever home video game console, the Magnavox Odyssey. It was a console that played Pong, and that was it. So it totally tracks that an early 80s arcade would just have a bunch of old Magnavox monitors. Yeah, I don't know, I'm a dork. Anyway, we do get introduced to a new character here. A blonde girl with a ponytail who looks to be a police officer named Vanessa. Well, that don't feel right. Yeah, if you're not aware, Vanessa is the name of the main villain from one of the more recent Five Nights at Freddy's games, Security Breach. You might better know them as the girl in the bunny suit named Vanny. And yeah, names in this franchise typically are very important. They're not usually coincidences, so that, I said it once, say it again, that don't feel right. I don't know if this is how it's gonna be in the final movie. This might just be the trailer trying to manipulate some dialogue to get the plot across real quick. But as the trailer presents it, Vanessa just straight up tells Mike about everything. So she gives the whole spiel about kids going missing and their souls possessing the animatronics and how they're likely now after Mike's little sister Abby, splice in a bunch of shots of dudes getting killed, animatronics looking what looks to be some kind of dream sequence about the missing kids maybe, someone fall down, a shot of what looks like maybe Vanessa in the hospital, Mike beating up some dude in a water fountain, and our first look at the big villain of the entire franchise, Springtrap, aka William Afton in a bunny suit, and boom! Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh, and we get a cute Corey X Kenshin cameo where we see, Abby just kinda hanging out with Golden Freddy. Interesting. Okay, trailer 2, the new one, the one everyone's talking about right now. What do we got? Well, we're definitely starting out different. Looks like we got a group of crime doers breaking into the abandoned Freddy's location, smashing a bunch of stuff and stealing all their coins. Those fiends! With all those quarters, they're surely stealing, I don't know, like 40 bucks? But uh-oh, this thief notices something rumbling around inside this cabinet. Don't do it. Don't do it! Oh, looks like there's nothing here. Guess I'll go back to... Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, I'm excited about this movie and everything, but this is stupid. This animatronic cupcake tackle-hugging this person's face, it's not scary or disturbing, it's just funny. After that, the trailer does play out kind of similarly to the last one. Mike takes Abby to the pizzeria like a dumb...
Hello?
Oh! She said it! She said the thing!
Hello?
We see William, we see Vanessa, we see the dead kids, and we see this weird Saw torture trap thing. This thing's shown up at least once in pretty much every trailer, but this is the first time I really properly noticed what's happening in this shot. Some of the other trailers framed this scene like it was happening to Mike, but that's clearly not him. I don't know who they are, but I'm probably not supposed to yet. What I do know is they're about to get their head stuck into a crazy animatronic head full of pain and dismemberment. It looks like this is either Bonnie or Freddy's head. Either way, I'm sure they'll be fine. And then there's a girl, and this happens. Which, I'm just calling it, this feels like a fake-out scare. These don't appear to be main characters of any kind. This hand just leaps out of Freddy's mouth, which is something we've never seen happen before. Freddy doesn't appear to be active. This just feels like it's gonna be a fake-out scare. Like the scene's gonna be building suspense, this little jump scare will happen to keep you on your toes as kind of a joke, but then the real threat of the scene will show up as like a misdirect. And if I'm wrong, I'll drink water. Following that, this trailer finally gives me what I've been waiting for. Way more footage of the animatronics when they're active. Big, creepy animatronics stalking around the pizzeria like weirdos. Thank you! They look so great, dude. We get to see Foxy walking around a bit. Bonnie turns. Chica looks... Okay, I didn't say we got a ton of footage of them, just more. And so far, I'm pretty happy with what they're showing. The animatronics are looking like they have some real weight to their movement. They look slow but intimidating, which is right on point. Oh, except here, that part's kind of funny. I know it's trying to replicate the iconic Foxy run from the first game, but it looked goofy then and it still looks goofy now. And then of course, we wrap up the trailer with one more ominous look at Springtrap, who, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I'm vibing with. I mean the design! Obviously, I was never vibing with the serial killer in a bunny suit, dear God. But yeah, I don't know. Freddy and friends are so dead on, and Springtrap here just isn't. I mean, to be fair, in the games, we really only ever see Springtrap after he's become a rotting, reanimated corpse puppeting a Deathtrap bunny suit, so seeing Afton's murder suit in its prime is kinda new. Oh, wait, you know what? You know what, I'm wrong. I just remembered we have seen this version of Springtrap before. Way back in FNAF 6 Pizzeria Simulator during that like Fruity Maze Pac-Man minigame. You can see William Afton in the Spring Bonnie suit lurking in the background and yeah, actually he looks pretty much identical. As far as I know, this is the only time in the entire franchise we've seen Springtrap look like this, and they recreated it perfectly for the movie. Okay, never mind, I'm sold, this is gonna rule.